I'm actually in the downtown of Basseterre, St. Kitts. This is actually the main hub for, I would say actually for Nevis and St. Kitts, but it's definitely the one for St. Kitts. I wanted to actually walk down here and show you what this town's kind of like, because this is really the hub of the whole federation, and you literally can park your car here and just go to all the different places you need to go. I've never been in any place in the world like this where you can just park your car and everything that you need to get done, you're going to find it right here. You don't even have to park anywhere. All you have to do is you can literally take your bike down here, or you can walk from Frigate Bay. You know, it's if you walk, it's about a 50-minute walk. If you ride your bike, you can do it in 15 minutes. Just depending on how quick you can ride your bike. But you really don't need a car here at all. You can get things done just walking. And also, if you get a chance, if you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as 45 days, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and ask for some help. Also, if you hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen, you'll get new videos as they come out automatically. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below and I'll get back with you. This is, they got some really old buildings down here. You got to remember, some of these date back to 1800s and some even 1700s. And if you want to go way out, you can go out to Brimstone, which dates back to 1600s. I mean, this is how far back this goes. You have people from all over the world that come here. They set up, different types of things to lower their taxes. One thing I will advise you, and I put a video on this just recently, and that is I would not be going into any Nevis or Belize offshore corporations. And the reason I would not do it is Nevis now is taxing offshore corporations the same as their the local corporations, which is at 33%. That's whether it's a corporation or a limited company. And so, obviously for those purposes, you would not want to be, even for estate plan purposes, there are other things you can do. But I would not be doing that because of the tax situation. And now that doesn't affect, some people said, well, what about the income tax? That has nothing to do with income tax. They came out with this. I think it was a mistake, but like I said before, I don't see them ever coming out with an income tax. They do have a business tax on businesses. So, the OECD really doesn't hamper St. Kitts because the corporate tax is already high. But St. Kitts is pretty smart because they've given you an outlet. They're saying you don't have to set up a corporation. You can come here and set up an unincorporated business, and you only pay like, well, right now it's 2%. Normally it's 4%, but we're here during the coronavirus. So, that's why it's giving you a big reduction. This is one of the nicest churches. This is an Episcopal church. It actually burned down many years ago. I think maybe the 1800s. I don't remember the exact story on it, but they rebuilt it, and it's very pretty inside. If you get a chance, if you come down here, the music is just really good in this church. I grew up as an Episcopalian, Baptist now, but this is a real pretty church if you get a chance to come down here. But now, there are a lot of places to come down here. You can get stuff discount in places like Caravana. That's further down here too. Caravana has got all kinds of, I call it the mini Walmart of St. Kitts, because they really do have incredibly inexpensive prices. I got 2 belts over there the other day for 15 EC, so that was $3 US for each belt. nice leather belts for $3 US. I don't think you're going to get much cheaper than that in the US, even at Walmart. I mean, these are the type of things, you know, people say that tax havens are sky high. They don't know what they're talking about. They haven't been to all of them. I've been to all of them. This is the cheapest pure tax haven that you can go to. You know, the problem with the Caymans and Bermuda and places like this, like I've said before, sure, there's no income tax, but the problem that you run into is they get you in other areas. They end up coming out with a, where you pay a box of cereal, you'll pay a ridiculous amount of money. And for everything you spend, you just gasp for breath. You don't have that here. There's lots of things here that are as cheap as the US. And I've seen things cheaper here than the US that I bought. People that come down here and visit might not see it because they don't know the places to go. That's why you look at videos like this, okay? This is why I can tell you, if you come down here and you want to cut back on your costs and not pay any income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax, folks, it's just not going to get any better than this. And the neat thing about this, if you're in a big city, like I used to live in Panama City and fighting the traffic, we're about 4 o'clock right now. You can see how slow the traffic is here. When I was in Panama City, it was like pulling my hair out. It's the worst traffic of any place I've ever been in my life, with the exception of Manila. I think Manila's probably got Panama City maybe beat. But other than that, these are the things that you have to deal with in other places you don't have to deal with here. Literally, you know, you can get around here. It's very easy to get around. You don't have traffic and stuff. It's really nice in that regard. All right, now this is the government headquarters. All the primary heads are in this building here, which is called the government headquarters. And this is where the Prime Minister's office is. And it's you know, it's very accessible. You don't, you know, you can walk inside. You just have to sign your name when you walk inside here. But it's got, it's a very laid back place. It's not like, and you know, people talk about the crime rate has dropped. I did a video on that. It's dropped dramatically over the last several years. And even when the crime rate was up pretty high, it was all between people dealing in drugs and gangs and stuff. If you weren't involved with that, you didn't have a problem with that. All right, now, one thing I wanted to tell you is the business tax here, like I said, right now is 2%. They don't have, they try to get people to contribute to Social Security, but it's not really mandatory if you've got an unincorporated business. So across the board, like I'm talking to a bunch of people now on where to set up a company. I'll be honest with you, I was just looking up Georgia, the country of Georgia. Now they're raising their taxes, and it's pretty difficult to find a place that you can run a business and not have the income taxes, the capital gains tax, the estate tax, the inheritance tax, and still keep the costs low locally. That's really hard to find, and this is the only place that I've seen like that. Now you might come down here and say, well, I don't like this, I don't like that. Well, that's fine. You can set up a business. I was just talking to someone the other day. You can set up a business here, and you can take off and leave if you want. You can live in, you know, Panama, Costa Rica, wherever you want to live, and set your business up here. But now it's a lot easier if you're a citizen to do this. Like I said before, everything runs real smooth, bank accounts and everything when you're I'm sorry, not a U.S. citizen. If you're a Kittitian, you get citizenship here. If you come down and you want to get a second passport, this is a great way to do it. So you would get citizenship here, a second passport, and then if you want to take off and leave, you can do it. You can live wherever you want and have your business here. And then you only pay right now it's a 2% business tax. They might be going up to a 4%, you know, after, I don't know if they're going to keep it at 2 or not. But that's almost nothing. And you get a huge deduction taken off that before, you know, before the 2% kicks in on your income. So, I mean, it's almost down to nothing. But then these countries like the OECD, they can't say anything because St. Kitts' corporate tax rate is 33%. It's just that nobody uses it hardly. Now, there are instances you have to use it if you're a publicly traded company, or you're in a real statutory type business, like if you have your own insurance company, or you're have a insurance marketing company, or if you're a you don't have to have it for real estate, but you do have to have it for certain businesses. So you would need to check, and we can help you with that before you set up your business. This is Carabana. It's a real inexpensive place. You get some really good deals here. And I call it the mini Walmart of St. Kitts, but some really good deals here. It's Indian owned, and they got a real good return policy here, which I like. I mean, they give you a real good service here. So this is right near, if you ever want to try to find it, it's just ask anybody where Carabana is. Everybody knows where it's at, okay? And it's right near the clock tower, downtown St. Kitts. But like I said, if you want to live in a place that's inexpensive, when I say inexpensive, for a tax saving, it's very inexpensive, I think, compared to Bermuda, British Virgin Islands, places like Bahamas, Cayman Islands. It is by far cheaper than those places to live, okay? I'm talking about rent, food, clothes, everything. And they've also got a duty-free area too, also, that's over in Port Zanti. I did a video on that, so if you want to get stuff that's duty-free, you can go over there. And I got a pair of sunglasses that I paid, like, I think it was $5 or $6 US, really inexpensive. But you can see right here, it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon here, and you can see how busy the traffic is. And of course, none of the tourism is down here now. That's one reason. But you're still not going to have tons of traffic down here. You never have to fight traffic down here. That's one thing that's really nice that I like. Living in cities where you got to fight traffic all the time can be really just a pain in the butt. But you got people selling their stuff here, fruit, and you get a lot of. No, thank you, appreciate it. Well, those are nice looking.
Soursop.
Soursop, yeah. Well, those are nice.
Good for you.
That's a big one, the middle one. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to get one for you, buddy?
My bag's full here, and I've got to walk.
We got to walk, but too.
Yeah, I'll come back. I'll come back later though.
Tomorrow.
All right, I'll do that. Okay, take care. So this is the National Museum too. They got some really neat things in here if you want to come down to the museum downtown. And we'll walk back here. They got a KFC. You got Domino's here. You got all different kinds of franchises. This is the post office right here. A post office box, you can get it down here for about 85 EC a year. That's roughly about 30 US for a PO box. Almost nobody uses post office boxes anymore, but if you do have something mailed, here's where you go. But you can see the traffic. I mean, it's very, very slow right now. Now, when the tourism picks up down here, and the coronavirus, they got the ships that are coming in June. Then this will change. You know, we got about 1.2 million visitors, tourists coming in here a year off the boats and also off the flights, but not right now, since everything has been monitored because of the coronavirus. They don't make you take the vaccine. You do it if you want to. There's no mandatory amount, no mandatory sort of rule that you're going to have to take it right now. But this is a neat place. It's not for everybody. Like I said, you can come down here. If you like it quiet, you're going to like this. If you want places to nightlife that's booming, we do have those out at the Frigate Bay and also in the Port Zanti. They have night spots and stuff like that. But everything's kind of slowed down quite a bit since all this hit. But if you like to bike ride, okay, let's go into that. One of the things that bike riders like the most is not a lot of traffic. Okay, this is a paradise if you like to bike ride because you don't have to worry about somebody hitting you. I mean, I've been down here for 14 years. And it's great for riding a bike. That's one thing that's really neat about it. This is Pelican Mall too. You can come in here. They've got a lot of discounted things that you can come in here and see. This is actually, it joins the actual Port Zante where the ships come in. So if you come in, you can go to, it's called the Pelican Shopping Mall. You can get some really good deals in here. And they've got a lot of handicraft and type things in here that you can get. It takes you, like I said, you can walk across town here. I'm talking about walking probably in 20 minutes, the whole town. I mean, that's how quick it is. But it makes it really nice if you're on foot and you need to get a lot of things done. Just, park your bike or your car. Now, obviously, if you bring a bike down, you need to chain it up. You've got a lot of things that are unique here that you will not see any place in the world. The quietness, the ability where you can take your bike everywhere. Some people like that. Some people don't care about it. Just depends. I like it. I like to be able to take my bike. I'm actually on my foot right now. I'm getting my bike fixed. So I'm walking back to Frigate Bay. That's about a 50-minute walk, and get my exercise in for the day. So all of this I won't be videoing. I just wanted to show you some of the places here in Basseterre. Now, Frigate Bay is 3 miles from here approximately. So if you live in Frigate Bay, you're right where the beaches are. If you don't even have a car, you can walk down here. If you walk 50 minutes on your regular walk, or an hour and a half, 50 here and 50 back, you're looking at, that's 100 minutes. That's about an hour and a half walk. Like I say, you can do that and not even have a car here. That's Port Zante over there. So you can live in the resort, be next to the nice beaches, and literally not have a car if you're an active person and you like to do a lot of walking. And that's the thing I like about here. And like I say, you can get your bicycle and literally have a bike here and never have a car and easily get by. You got a bunch of stuff you got to carry. Just get a taxi for, one time or how many times you need it. That's probably going to be cheaper than getting a car anyway. Very few places you can do this in the world. And like I say, there's advantages to that because you're looking at a small country that can control its income taxes, capital gains tax, estate tax, inheritance tax. And by doing that, man, it can make a big difference in what you have to outlay in heavy taxes. So this is a big benefit that you're going to see in St. Kitts. So if you're looking to live in a place that's inexpensive, now I'll tell you this is not as cheap as Guatemala. It's not as cheap as, but you got to remember too, this is an English-speaking country. Okay, you go to these other places, you're going to have to learn the language. English-speaking countries typically have a premium price to them. Even Belize is higher, more expensive to live than Guatemala, Ecuador, Nicaragua, places like this. But I would much rather live here than Belize by any means. And I would rather live here than Panama City, Panama. I mean, I've lived in Panama City for 4 years and the traffic was awful. And also the tax laws are a lot better here. Your property taxes, Panama has a 2% property tax. That's a lot. That's higher than most states in the US. And they do give you an exemption in some cases, depending on the amount you spend for the property, but only lasts so long and then the property tax kicks in. Here, you're looking at almost zero property tax. You're looking at 0.20% of whatever you purchase. And then you get a $29,600 US exclusion before that 0.20% kicks in. All right, now this is, if you ever have a business, this is a great place. I did a video on this, the Sands, great professional office building. You have a lot of lawyers in here. And this is a great place so you can have a business. And the rent just depends on how big you want your your office here, but it's a great place if you want to have a business here. Now, the area I'm coming up to now is a place called Newtown. And Newtown is an area where there are quite a few inexpensive type homes. They almost never come up on the market. It's real funny because you just never see them on the market here. Kittitians don't move around very much. They stay in the same place for years, and they pass the house down their kids, grandkids. So they just don't seem to move around that much. So you just don't see a lot of houses for sale. But there are houses in here for as little, I've seen as low as $40,000 US. Now, folks, we're talking about a place too where there's no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax. Now, I like obviously the areas that are there where the beaches are and the resorts, because it's quite obvious it's going to be a lot. You don't get the roosters, you don't get the loud noises and stuff. Very quiet if you stay in the resort areas. You're not going to have that if you're downtown. Okay. Now this is of course the Caribbean side here. That's going out to Port Zante here. Okay. And this is where all the ships come in, right over where this camera's pointing right now. So, you can come in by flight or by boat and see a lot of the Federation here, and that's Mount Nevis. It's very hard to see in the distance. It's got a lot of clouds on top of it. But what you should do, we've got a deal right now where on citizenship, remember you can get a passport as quick as 45 days here in citizenship. If you're thinking about coming down, we do have a developer right now that is taking some Bitcoin, and of course our company also takes Bitcoin for our services. And you can do a wire if you're interested in doing business down here with us. Also, you can. We've got a developer now who, if you come down, they're only running this through. They've extended it through the end of July. If you stay at their resort, which is a 4-star resort, normally it's $200 US a night. Now it's $100 US a night. They will, if you stay there, they'll pay for you and your family up to a month. You can stay for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever you want, but they'll do it for up to a month. And if you end up buying the development for citizenship, they will refund back all that money, which is $100 US a day. Normally it's $200 a day, but they're running special during the coronavirus here, which is $100 US a day. That only covers your room. It does not cover your flight. So, and if you don't purchase at their development, of course you've paid for your room. Okay, but this is the way if you want to possibly have your whole room paid for down here. This is a great way to do it. And this is, I'm looking back now, a place called Bird Rock off in the distance, and then Frigate Bay is actually on the other side of those mountains that you see right here. And it's a nice walk. You can walk on the sidewalk all the way back to Frigate Bay, and it's got everything I think that you want, all the necessities in life, with the taxes where you want it. Folks, I don't know of a place that you can go and literally you can set up a business here. You can take off and leave. You can file everything online. There's quarterly payments that you file online. It takes you about a minute to do it. And you only pay, basically, it boils down to what's your gross down here if you do an unincorporated business. And then there's a big deduction you take off of that. And then you take like 2% of that. And normally it's 4%, but like I say, they've lowered it to 2% right now. So you're paying almost nothing down here, okay? And the government's not I don't see the government changing that. I mean, they actually went from 4 to 2, so they're not going up. They've been dropping the tax. Now, so, one of the big things people are asking me, well, Tom, they did they raised the taxes on the Nevis offshore corporations. They did that, but remember, there's already a high corporate tax rate here now, okay? But like I said, you can avoid it. All you do is you set up an unincorporated business. It's that simple, okay? So none of the bullies in the OECD can say anything because they already got high taxes on the corporate end here, okay? But you avoid it. You avoid it by setting up an unincorporated business, okay? And then what you can do is if you want to take off and leave, you can do that, okay? You can move wherever you want and then have your business here. Now, there are ways that you can try to avoid all your taxes, but it's getting a lot more difficult to get around fees. When I say fees, usually what happens is even free zone companies will say they don't have any taxes at all, but they hit you on tremendously high fees, okay? This is what Dubai does. Dubai has real high fees they've got visa fees, they've got licensing fees. It can be several $1,000s. And then you've got on top of that, fees that you may or may not have to pay your sponsor. It depends on the type of business you're in. Now, you can have your own business now. In fact, when I was there, I had my own business even before they changed the laws, because there were certain businesses you could have your own business in Dubai, but your fees on everything else is really high, but you pay no income tax. So if you're making a lot of money, those fees are minute. But what I'm telling you here is your license fee here is only $180 a year in most cases. Depends on the type of business you're doing, okay? But in most cases, it's right around $180 a year, US. If you get it in the middle of the year, they prorate it. So if you get it in the middle of the year, it's half of 180 US. That's how cheap the license fees are here. It's incredibly cheap, okay? And then if you want to take off and leave, you just take off and leave with your business here. You don't have to hire employees if you're a citizen, okay? That's the big advantage about getting citizenship here. You can literally work out of your house. They don't require you to have an office. This is probably the most laid-back place I've ever seen to set up a business. So if you're really wanting to cut back to get your taxes and your fees and everything close to zero, man, if you find another place, you just tell me about it. I'm always looking too. I mean, that's why we do these videos, to show people the best deals. I can't find any, okay? This is nirvana. If you want to cut back on fees, costs, living costs, taxes, this is it, man. And it's close to the US. And if you're from Canada or places like this, it's close by. So this is where you need to go. Anyway, if you got a question or comment, put it below. I would like to hear from you there. And also, don't forget to hit that subscription button and the notification bell next to the subscription button so you get new videos as they come out. And do go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com. Hit that top bar that says apply with us, fill out the questions. Hit that bottom bar that says send it to us. We'll get back with you. We deal with a lot of citizenship by investment, residency by investment countries all over the world. And I'll look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.